How you doing, Icon Youth? My name's Tom. I'm one of the leaders here, and I just wanted to take a few moments to share with you a short devotional. I'm going to start by reading some verses, and they're from 2 Corinthians, and it's chapter 4, verses 16 to 18. And it says, "Therefore, we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. Since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal." These verses are from the book of 2 Corinthians, which is a letter Paul wrote to the church of Corinth, just to encourage and to teach the church. And in these particular verses, he's saying, don't lose heart because things look different. Don't be discouraged because things aren't the same way you expected them to be. Just because things look like a problem, look like they're going wrong, doesn't mean God can't use it. You see, it's in those situations where God works and God builds us up. God doesn't see problems the same way as we do. When we see problems, when we see issues, we panic or we feel anxious about it. God sees an opportunity for growth or to learn. And that's how we need to try and change our viewpoint of this situation isn't going to have a negative effect on me, but a positive effect in the sense of I'm going to learn from it, I'm going to grow from it. And God's going to do that in the situation. You see, God doesn't bring the hard times, but He uses them. He uses them for good and to progress His kingdom and to help us to grow. So how can we utilise this extra free time we've got to grow closer to God and to grow as individuals? So first of all, I think a really important thing is to spend more time in prayer, more time reading our Bible and educating ourselves more on God and on how we should be living our lives, which is something I definitely wanted to use the lockdown for, to use the extra free time for, because I felt I hadn't been spending enough time in reading my Bible or reading books that were teaching me more about the Bible, and I wanted to spend every morning doing that. And I'm working again now, so I've not been doing that as much as I'd like to be, but I'm hoping to spend more evenings doing that. But that was something that was really useful for me at the start of the lockdown. But we should also be taking the time to grow in ourselves, to flourish in ourselves. Take time to practice that instrument you've not picked up in a while, or to learn to speak another language, or just take time to educate yourself because you're not at school. You see, we have that free time that we've always wanted, and now we've got the free time, we don't want it anymore. And it's more difficult because we're not allowed out, we're not allowed to see our friends and some of our family, but we need to utilise the time the best we can. Take some time to ring a friend or to FaceTime someone you've not spoken to in a while. Think about calling that relative who you might not have seen in some time. God doesn't see the problems as problems, and neither should we. We need to start thinking of them as a chance for us to grow and to improve. And personally, I'm excited for what God's going to do through this season, through how God's going to work. We've noticed as a Connect group that it's been a great opportunity for us to grow because we've been able to do new things. We've decided that every Monday we're going to do a prayer at 7 o'clock just to pray for our weeks. And that's something we didn't get the opportunity to do before, but we're doing now, and hopefully through doing that it'll carry on as we come out of the lockdown, that we'll be able to continue to do that. And that's something that's going to have a great effect on our Connect and something that other Connect groups can do. But there's so many other things that we could spend the free time doing. Maybe take some time to think about how could you do more with this free time. And I just want everyone to be encouraged that just because things look bad, just because it looks like there's so much going wrong, God is still working and God is still building us all up. And I'd just like to close by praying for us all and praying that even though the situation seems awful, that we will get a lot of more good out of it than we think. God, I thank you that in the situation where it seems like everything's going wrong, Lord, that you're still working, that you're still moving. And there's one thing we can rely on, Lord God, and that's that you'll use it for good. God, I pray that as we're in lockdown, Lord God, as we have more free time, we can use it to grow. We can grow closer to you and grow closer to each other, Lord God. And I pray that as we do that, Lord, we can come out at the end of lockdown and that it'll never be the same again, Lord, that we can apply all the things we've learned through this period, Lord God, and that youth ministry can be stronger, that we can be stronger in relationships, and we can be stronger in our relationship with you, Lord. Amen.